What's going on, folks? How we doing? It is Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Today was the summit in China with Xi and Donald Trump. Apparently, Donald Trump says that China promised not to supply Iran with any military equipment. Additionally, that Trump said that Xi would like to see the Strait of Hormuz open. Well, no shit. No shit. So China guarantees to keep the Strait of Hormuz open, right? The United States leaves without confiscating the enriched uranium. This is how I think it's going to break down. I do not think the United States is going to end up confiscating the enriched uranium. So I think they're going to leave with an agreement to keep the strait open the same exact way it was prior to the conflict. An agreement to keep the strait open. So basically an agreement that undoes the consequences of the war, but doesn't accomplish any of the actual objectives they had prior. Yikes. Scorpio, you don't assign me homework. Shut your ass up. You're muted. Taiwan, well, a lot of people are speculating that if China assists the United States in getting out of this war, that the United States will give China the green light on Taiwan. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I wouldn't put it past Trump to surrender Taiwan to undo this mess he's created in Iran. So basically a skinny JCPOA, basically. Not even a JCPOA. That agreement addressed the uranium. I don't even know if they're going to be able to come up with an agreement that addresses the uranium. Maybe they have to come up with two agreements. I don't know if the actual agreement is going to have a sunset clause. I don't know any of these things. I can't imagine they would have no agreement, but I think Iran wants to. I think that the United States is going to have to at least comply with the regional de-escalation before they even go to negotiating those types of things. So China says open the Strait of Hormuz permanently. They sign some kind of agreement. They negotiate nuclear deployment. I don't know how I see China coming through and helping the United States get out of this. I don't think the United States gets what they want in terms of a permanent agreement to not ever possess nuclear weapons. Israel's not going to be happy about that either, so Israel's going to be super pissed about that. Israel wants regime change, remember. So Israel wants the United States to just discuss this with Israel and them to figure it out themselves. Israel doesn't care that much about the consequences concerning the Strait of Hormuz. They care much more about making sure that Iran doesn't retaliate against them in the future for this war, especially in a permanent way. Guys, I would appreciate hitting the thumbs up button, doing all of those things. Today we listened to the John Fetterman interview a little bit on YouTube. My God, dude, John Fetterman is incredibly frustrating. The CIA director met with Cuban officials today in Havana. That's coming up too. Cuba's going to be the next big thing. Xi's stark warning to America was do not test China when it comes to Taiwan. That's the public statement anyway. What else do we got? Oh yeah, we listened to the Fetterman. Dude, You want to talk about a guy disconnected from reality? That's John Fetterman, man.
Michael Barbosa.
Bro, how old are you?
My name is Michael Barbosa.
Your name is nothing. We don't care what your name is. You're 12. Tina, thank you so much. Tina, 5150. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Tina. See the big 18 plus? Don't bother me today, kids. All right? I'm going to call your mom and tell on you. Fetterman is such an embarrassment. Yes. Oof, if China has to come in and help, we are going to look so weak. Well, you know, they're going to do it in a way that doesn't look so obvious, right? I would imagine there's some deals being made behind the scenes between Trump and Xi here concerning getting the United States out of this conflict.
Call from
Michael Barbosa.
Bro, this isn't funny. You're not funny.
Listen,
You need to stop.
John, when you
I'm
really
going
put
to
your,
call your mother and get you grounded. Don't call me again. Don't want to have to do that. Really don't want to have to. Tina, thank you for being a member for frickin' 10 months, Tina. Let's fucking go. So, that's my prediction anyway. I think the most important things, obviously, this being the Strait of Hormuz, the immediate thing, and then the broader issue of enriched uranium. I don't think the United States gets them to surrender what they currently have. And maybe there's an agreement with a sunset clause, an expiration on the time that they commit to not developing a nuclear weapon. So, essentially, right back at square one. His bid on Bill Maher was very concerning. Seems off. Not all there. Oh, Fetterman? Yeah, I know. Well, listen, Fetterman's not a good person. Like, I hope you know that. Fetterman's not a good guy. Like, he's just a right-wing guy who calls himself a Democrat. You know these guys want right, far right versus lesser right. They want to isolate the left into this little box and call them radical and call them unreasonable simply because they have a moral compass. If you're morally outraged, right? If you're morally outraged, then you're a psychopath. You know, you're dramatic in the mind of these fucking clowns. Tina, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you, Tina. No, it's not great, but I'm going to Washington, D.C. soon, so I want to make sure my back is good before I go there because I'm going to be doing a lot of walking around and stuff. And so I'm kind of dealing with that. I basically slept upright in my office chair this afternoon because last night my back was bothering me. I couldn't lay down flat, so I've been sleeping sitting up. You know, somehow I'm able to, like, every once in a while I catch myself falling forward, but it's better than laying down when my back is bothering me. Morals are different for all. Hard to pin that down. Not when it comes to killing babies. Okay? That's not hard to pin down. You sound like someone who supports Israel saying that statement there. I bet you anything you are a supporter of the IDF. Oh, there it is right there. Israel's army is the most moral, they say. I could have guessed. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. If you're a Republican, you can call in 908-652-3700. 03. Yeah, it's fucking brutal as hell. Back pain sucks. Oh, God. Dave Melson, shut the fuck up, you loser. Andy Rome, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Just a heads up, when it comes to values, morals, and the rights of others, I will not compromise. Me either, Andy. But that's why they want to box us out, because we won't compromise. You understand? They want a right versus lesser right type system, which is what we've always had. They don't want the left involved in our politics. I have several issues with my back. Best ways to sleep is on your back with your knees. I've done that before, Shorty. I know. It just doesn't seem to help me in this circumstance. Ryan, I don't care. Call in and I will cook your ass. Barb, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. Reminder that iced coffee and joints are on me whenever your journalism brings you to PX. Yeah, definitely, Barb. 100%. I was going to go there. I was going to go to Portland at one point, and then it had kind of calmed down pretty quick. Trucker John, thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. Appreciate you. Are you a high school dropout looking to pick a fight you lose? Call in now. Exactly. Bro, did you guys hear that guy yesterday? Not the first guy, not the second guy, but the third guy? Dear God. That guy was unfucking hinged. Linda, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, Linda. Appreciate you so much. Carl says he's just about the money. I love the money, Carl. Does it make you jealous? Does it make you jealous, Carl with a K? Were your parents trying to be creative, or are you in the Ku Klux Klan? Or both? The third guy was insane. No, it was a different guy. Some new guy called in yesterday. Was complete. He's really, I mean, a lot of Republicans hate me, but like, he didn't hate me. He like wanted to kill me. That's a little different. Trump is literally the only president who has ever done what he says he is going to do for our country. All right, why don't you call in, bro? All right, you call in and tell me about it. Okay? I don't remember their names, Bob. So I love when MAGA gets jelly. I know it's my favorite. Carl's an idiot. Bro, you putting Trump and hearts in the chat now? Dear God. That's insane. That is insane. They were all unhinged. That's right, Dory. Most of the time they are. It's on Adam's Instagram. Well, just a snippet of it. Because I try and get people to come over to YouTube, you know. So I just put a snippet over there. Really, this weekend I have to upload videos. I'm trying to get this week to commit to basically to get people to come over there. But I need to get into the like groove. Yeah, but again, like it's gotten progressively worse. I mean, it's gotten progressively worse. You have to understand, you know, MAGA is a continuation of an issue we've had in this country for a long time, from the Confederacy. You know, It's nothing new. And the issues are much bigger. Much bigger. Buff, appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. I don't think if we reach a point that, let's say tomorrow MAGA disappears, the issues in this country are not gone. We have the same issues. It's a much bigger issue than just MAGA and Trump. He's just exploited an issue, that already existed. And we have to deal with that. And it's going to be an uncomfortable process. It's not going to be comfortable. It has to be uncomfortable in order for it to work. Problem is a lot of people are unwilling to go there. Can you replay that interview? Which one? I know people want me to finish the Fetterman one. I don't think we have that much left, but we can listen to the rest of it. There's not much left. It's bad though. Like, it will make you, like, it actually made me angry this morning. Like, I got on live. I was in a decent mood. After that interview, I was in such a bad mood. Like, goddamn. I guess Fetterman bothers me because I advocated for him. That's why Fetterman bothers me. It's like I wanted him to win. Oz was so dangerous, and I wanted him to win, and he's just such a backstabber. Hey, Sergeant Dennis Hawkins, can you call the phone number, please? Thank you, Dennis Hawkins. Stop being afraid and call the phone number. Tracy, love watching you every day on TikTok and YouTube. Thank you for taking an honest, no bullshit approach like a lot of other. Thank you so much, Tracy. Appreciate you. Yeah, definitely no bullshit. And that's for some people, and some people it's not for. Some people like the fake, pretend kind of, facade bullshit. I don't do that. So, some people like that upfront, straightforward approach. Some people don't. So, I appreciate you enjoying it, though, Tracy. Thank you so much. Wouldn't be able to do it without you. Who's the guy that kept giving out his address? I don't know. That was another guy who wanted me to come to his house or something. But, like, if I really went to their house, do you really think we'd be fighting? Like, stop it. We wouldn't be fighting. Like, remember that guy that called the other day? And he was like, he said, he's like, because he didn't think we were on the air. And he's like, I do like you. And I'm telling you. Emily's blown. What's going on? Thank you, Emily. Exactly, Lala. Because they find that shit hilarious. I mean, Trump has been really losing it on reporters a lot lately. I'm not answering questions from maggots in the chat. Call the phone number so we can talk in front of the people watching, and that's what we'll do. Call the phone number if you have a question. Yeah, I'm trying to get this Mojo person to call and stop being so afraid. Bro, G didn't greet that orange bastard off the plane. He didn't? He didn't? I didn't even watch. What was he? What when he was walking off? What? He didn't walk up to the plane. You mean? Such a nasty guy. He's an unbelievably nasty guy. Didn't even greet me off the plane. Unbelievable loser. They call him a loser. Nasty. Because he knows I want to win. That's why he knows I want to win. Mojo is terrified of libs. Damn, Mojo. Someone in the chat said you're terrified of liberals, and that's why you won't call in. That's crazy work. I became a member, but it didn't take my money, so I'm confused. I don't know what you mean it didn't take your money. You might have had a promotion, Everella. Did you have a promotion? If you want to support me, like support me where I get 100% of everything. I usually put this in the chat. If you guys enjoy the content every day, education, all that, you can always do Venmo. I have Venmo and Cash App, and you can do those. Alicia, thank you for the $5 super chat. No question. Thank you, Alicia. 210 Rain. Christopher with the $20 super chat. Hey, bro, you want to battle pillow fight me IRL 1v1? No, dude, I only do karate. MAGA has me watching Cobra Kai right now in preparation. Thank you so much, Christopher. Amy Cat, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate you. Amy. Adam, I'm going to send you a pic when I was 10 with Phil Rizzuto. What a great guy he was. I met Phil Rizzuto multiple times. Several times. I have a ball over here somewhere that says, "Hey, Adam, holy cow, Phil Rizzuto." Met Phil Rizzuto a few different times. He was much older at the time that I met him, but met him many times. Very funny guy. Good, great sense of humor. Didn't have an ego. Good guy. Sarah signed every single ball everybody brought up to him, by the way. Just saying. Sarah, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Appreciate you. I've never seen Trump cower down the way they did with Xi today. Oh, I know. Well, Sarah, you know why, right? Because they need China's help. I remember a MAGA guy called in the other day and he was like, Trump's going to go in there and he's going to get Xi to do this and Xi to do that. People don't know who Xi is. Who's Dennis? Which one's Dennis? Did you get a chance to play Epic Furious shit, Adam? It's hilarious. Is that the game, the political game? No, but some people were telling me I should play that on stream. Do you guys want to do that next time? Is that what the game is? Where you go around with Trump and you have to like battle through the fucking Pope and shit like that? Is that game? I will so dedicate 20 or 30 minutes to play that on stream. That would be funny as hell. Does Trump actually think the other leaders like him? Probably. I think he's subject to propaganda. Well, Dennis, call in. JC, you're welcome to call in if you want. Today's kind of a little bit of a laid back kind of a live because I really was just going to skip today. I didn't do a lot on TikTok this morning, so my back is fucked up. Trump is very intimidated by Xi. My favorite console of all time is probably the Dreamcast or the PlayStation 2. Those are the two most goated systems of all time. Constitution's totally cooked, bro. They have no respect for it. The United States has become basically like it's like the Truman Show, basically. Like we're walking around, we think this is our country, but really it's not. And if we don't start fighting for it, we're going to lose it completely. I wonder what Israel's reaction is going to be to that. Because it's obvious they're not going to be able to fulfill those objectives. So it's pretty obvious that Israel's going to be furious about that. What do they? That's when I start to get suspicious. Is something going to happen that sucks us further into this war now? Is there going to be some kind of bomb that goes off and then the United States has to get involved? Like, that's what I fear. My biggest fear right now is waking up, right, and finding out that, oh my God, guys, Iran did this or that, and now the United States is going to put boots on the ground or something like that. I would immediately think it was Israel. No, I just think we've lost total control. Listen, when a foreign government can drop millions of dollars into an election to make sure a candidate doesn't win an election, we've lost our republic. Yeah, I like GTA. When they've delayed the new one just too long. Somebody asked here in before about Taiwan. Taiwan is, I mean, there's a million reasons. Semiconductors are a big part of it, but basically, the United States, if China takes over Taiwan, then U.S. influence is basically gone in Asia. Taiwan sits in a really crucial position in the Western Pacific. So China gains a much better military position near Japan, the Philippines, major sea lanes. So there's more than one reason. What are you, X Alive, what are you talking about? Are you a Trump supporter? We're not Trump supporters in here, so I don't know what you're talking about. Do you think that Iran has shown China that the U.S. couldn't defend Taiwan? I think they're entirely different circumstances, but I think that what it has shown is that the United States doesn't have the... It's not that they couldn't. I mean, again, it's not that they couldn't. I just think that who are you to tell China that they can't take Taiwan, right, for strategic purposes when you're doing the same thing in Iran? In terms of their ability to actually defend it, if China wants Taiwan, they'll take Taiwan. It just could cause a huge mess. You got that interview you were going to show? What interview? Oh, you're talking about Fetterman? Oh, yeah. If you guys want to. Do you guys want me to finish it? I certainly can. I think the problem is not that the United States can't defend Taiwan. It's that the leadership is so incompetent. Like, in terms of military assets, with a competent leader and a good strategy, I think the United States could do pretty much anything. The problem is Trump is an idiot. Okay? He's an idiot. So that's the problem. Like, whenever I say that, like, regime change is not possible in Iran, Trump supporters flip out. What do you mean? We have this, we have that, we have this. I think what it's shown is, regardless of your military assets, if you don't have good leadership, if you don't have clear-cut objectives, they mean nothing. So if anything, I think it's shown China that Trump is an incompetent leader, that he's incapable. So that could certainly encourage them to do it. I don't doubt it at all. I just think that it's more of a situation right now that China is going to help the United States get out of this conflict by basically telling Iran. And by the way, China can tell Iran, you need to open the Strait of Hormuz. You know what I mean? And they will. So China assists the United States in coming to some kind of permanent agreement on opening the Strait of Hormuz. Maybe they come to some kind of agreement on not developing nuclear weapons. I don't think it's going to involve surrendering enriched uranium. I think it's going to be an agreement with a sunset clause. And I think then the United States leaves and says we accomplished our goal, and they'll say we destroyed military infrastructure that significantly weakened them as a threat to both the United States and Israel. They're not going to be developing nuclear weapons for the next decade. The United States wants 20 years as a part of the proposal, the framework, but they're not going to agree to I don't think they're going to agree to 20. And then you're going to see a reaction from Israel that's going to be complete disappointment. They're going to say the war, because Israel already said, if the agreement doesn't involve confiscating the existing enriched uranium, then the war is a failure. Nothing stops Israel from continuing this conflict. Nothing stops Israel from deciding to finish the job. And I think that's what concerns me. I'm also worried about Israel trying to get us deeper into this conflict so we can't, because I don't think Israel wants to negotiate. I don't think they want a deal right now. I know. I know they don't. Yeah, I'm gonna play it here in a second. We'll finish it up here. Let's do it. Here we go. Real quick while we're
real loss for that. And then I think that's what defines that. You know, I was so nervous and just following that so closely about rescuing the pilot. You know, that would have turned the entire energy of that if the Iranians would have got to them.
Yes.
And can you imagine? I mean, they're making Lego videos for propaganda. Can you imagine if they had an American pilot?
I can, because I saw Owen Wilson in Behind Enemy Lines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that is that exact.
Can you imagine if they had an American pilot? Oh my God, John Fetterman is just such a clown.
And that's I think that's part of the energy. But I think what's accomplished with Epic was very important.
With Epic,
and it's astonishing to what they've been able to do. But overall, right now, it would be a huge loss if you don't walk away now without requiring them to produce their nuclear material.
I don't know how. You know, I don't know how you can force them, because they've kind of shown we can take your best punch. And let's be honest, the reason why you and I both supported this war as a thing to be done, none of those objectives have been achieved. It's not a different regime. It may, in fact, be a worse regime.
Shut your ass
because
up.
Now the Revolutionary Guard probably is in command.
Hey, don't tell me don't concern myself with Israel when Israel's using my fellow Americans to push their agenda. Sit your ass down. Tell me what the fuck to do.
Directly, as opposed to having the mullahs above them, wink, wink, but they were really in command. But whatever it is, it's not the people we want who took over. The protest from the people rising didn't happen. I've been saying that's because they missed their window. They should have attacked Iran while the people were in the streets. They let the people get slaughtered in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably the top echelon of the people who you want to be in the streets, the bravest ones. They kill.
This is the part that bothers me the most about this interview, is when they talk about justifying the war, they do the same thing Republicans do when I put them in a corner, is they try and use liberation of the Iranian people as the justification to obtain moral high ground in an argument about whether or not this war is justified. You can't use liberation when the administration is openly stating, number one, this is not a nation-building project. We're not here to liberate the Iranian people. If they want to take advantage of the already damaged military infrastructure and use that to uprise against the regime, then so be it. That's good for them. Bombed a preschool as a part of the initial strikes. Have stated regime change has already occurred. Declared victory over regime change already. Right? This operation has nothing to do with freeing the people of Iran. Like, these guys try and use this as a way to justify the war. That would only make sense if we were doing something to free the Iranian people. We're not. We're not doing anything to free the Iranian people.
Killed them all.
What's so disappointing to me is, where is the global nation community, demanding Iran at this point? It's like this idea, like this, every Democrat, you can't ever let them build a bomb, and
No.
here we're here at the cusp. When would you ever have that opportunity to do? And so if
I actually heard from a reliable source that John Fetterman's office stinks. That he is incredibly gassy. I'm not even kidding. I'm not saying that just because I don't like him. This is from somebody who constantly around people in Congress, constantly talking to people in Congress, that John Fetterman stinks, that he passes gas a lot. And that you can, like, if you go in there, you can actually smell that someone has been I'm not trying to be graphic. I'm really not. But that if you go in his office, it smells like someone has been passing gas a lot of the time. I'm not even kidding.
now the Democratic Party and a lot of the media has trained the Iranian regime, it's like, we just have to hang on one more day, one more
that
day.
makes sense, doesn't
we
it?
have to, because eventually people will lose their focus and just give up. And that's, I think that's the tragedy right now.
But how do you, again, the objectives, the people didn't rise up, the regime isn't changed, we don't have the nuclear weapons 100% secured, and then the Strait of Hormuz, which wasn't even on the table before the war. It should have been as an issue. So we lost.
It wasn't an issue because it wasn't being choked. It's only been choked as a retaliatory method by Iran, by the IRGC. These guys are like, well, the Strait of Hormuz should have been an objective of the war. Why wasn't it? Because they weren't choking it prior to the strikes. They're doing it in response to the strikes, you dimwit.
The three things we wanted and gained 1/4 one we didn't want. We knocked out most of their military stuff. Okay, that's all to the good. But how do you actually get this nuclear dust, he calls it, whatever it is? We probably
Straight up, they're
knocked
dumb.
out some of it with the bomb.
You find out through this conversation with Fetterman and Marr that they're actually dumb. Like, they have no idea what's going on. But you couldn't support the things that they do unless you didn't know what was going on, right? You have to be kind of ignorant to the facts to hold the position that they do, right? Because once you understand the facts, you become morally outraged. And once you become morally outraged, you're no longer moderate, right?
Back in July, the big bunker buster bomb, but we don't know. Apparently, we probably didn't because we're doing this. We don't know unless we are actually
Now, listen to what he just said, dude. This is the funniest part about it. Listen to what he just said.
probably knocked out some of it. You actually get this nuclear dust, he calls it, whatever it is. We probably knocked out some of it with the bomb back in July, the big bunker buster bomb, but we don't know.
But we don't know. So the president hasn't made it clear whether or not he destroyed their capabilities, because I remember him using the word obliterated specifically.
Apparently, we probably...
I love these Republicans that come in and complain about my channel, like Bob in New Jersey. Bob, you've been in my live multiple times. Every time you come in here, you just talk shit. If you didn't like the content, you'd never come back. But yet you've been in here every single day I've been live over the last year. Every single day, which means you're a cuck. Remember that before you go to bed tonight.
didn't because we're doing this. We don't know unless we are actually in that mountain. And how do you get in that mountain? They have a 1,000,000-man army that hasn't been talked about a lot, but they do have an army. So if you're going to look at that mountain and what's in it, somehow you're going to have to secure that.
MAGA will spend hours watching my live and be like, I hate this guy. I hate his content. I hate everything about him. Now let me go turn his live on, because he's definitely the show I'm going to spend watching this evening. Out of all the things on the planet I could watch, I'm going to watch him, even though I hate everything about him.
Area, which means I think you're going to have to fight this 1,000,000-man army. And you don't want that, right? Well, the truth is, deciding to get help is hard enough. Let's
skip past his stupid fucking ads.
You know, where are we at right now? Remember back 2 years ago in 2024, and Sinwar was alive, and the majority of the hostages were kept underground, and our party was demanding for a ceasefire. And what Israel realized, that, you know, we have to break and destroy Hamas, and we have to break and do the same for Hezbollah, and they've done that. And then they all understand history. A country can't fight two wars on two fronts at the same time. So after they neutralized those two, they were able to go after Iran, and then everything changed with Midnight Hammer, and they were able to significantly damage their nuclear facilities. Now, if there was a ceasefire, and now where would Iran's nuclear bomb be right now? You know, 2 years after that, if there was that ceasefire that we all demanded, and where would Hezbollah? Hezbollah would have hundreds of thousands of rockets able to fire on will.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All
and
fear-mongering.
things that we would never tolerate in our nation. You know, I had a room as Israeli politicians. I'm like, you know, have you ever been in your bomb shelter in your home? Everyone hand goes up, and I'm like, yeah. Well,
Did you hear what he just said? I was in a room of Israeli politician, and I asked them, has any one of you been in bomb shelter in your room? And every one of them raised their hand. He's like a little kid. Like, that's his level of intelligence. What an absolutely stupid thing to say. I wonder why.
and now Democrats are voting against supporting the Iron Dome and those purely defensive.
Yeah, to that person who was like, say her name, Lake and Riley, in the chat, can we get some R.I.P. Alex Preddy in the chat? Can we get some R.I.P. American hero Alex Preddy in the chat? Rest in peace, Alex Preddy. American hero Alex Preddy.
Call from
Schleiffelberg.
to
Yes, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I'm actually Jewish, so of course I love Trump.
Did you just say you're actually Jewish? So
Yes,
that's why
let
you
me
love
clarify.
Trump?
I actually don't like Trump. I like what he does for Israel.
Oh, of course you do. Do you live in the United States?
I'm back and forth between Brooklyn and Florida and Israel sometimes, but right now I'm in New York.
So were you born here or in Israel?
I was born in Brooklyn.
America first or
I
Israel
got my,
first?
birthright
America first or
to
Israel first?
Israel is America at this point.
No, it isn't, and it never will be. I
United
hope you know
States
that.
of Israel.
It never
We
will
are the best friends you'll ever have.
be. It never will be. I hope you know that. I hope you know that.
There's those Arab monsters
Do you see
all
what
around
the-
us, raping women and children,
Do you see
and
what-
we're the only
I know the IDF doesn't
democratic
commit war.
society.
I know the IDF doesn't commit war crimes. You're right.
The IDF is the most moral army in the world.
Not true.
Don't you dare sully
Really?
their name.
What are the bulldozers for?
There to scoop the dead bodies
Yeah.
off the ground
Yeah,
and give
you're a
them proper
joke.
burial.
You're a joke. You know how you're making a
I
mockery
am
of it?
Rabbi
You know how you're
Schleiffelberg
making
from
yeah.
Williamsburg, Brooklyn, And I take offense to that on victim card. Do you
You fucking lost. Not listening to you. You fucking lost.
things for Israel, and that's the betrayal, and that's heartbreaking to me. These were our core values, and that's part of this fracturing, and maybe that's why I've lost support in part of the Democratic Party.
Me too. I mean, we're exactly the same way on this. We're really walking hand in hand because we get shit about it. And if there's one issue, I mean, this whole big issue of Israel, the Middle East, Islamophobia, because they're all connected. If there's one issue which makes me say to the far left, stop asking me why I make fun of the left more than I used to. This is it. This is why. Because you're morally goofy.
Hey, Golden, shut your ass up. You understand me? Shut your ass up. Got it?
Call from
Jeff.
Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I am.
All right, before we transfer you over to Adam, we need to know really quick, what do you want to speak about today?
I just want to say we're over there in Iran for defending America from
Okay,
the threat of
really
nuclear
quick, we
attack.
ask 3 questions. We typically ask 3 questions to make sure you are not artificial intelligence. Okay?
Right.
Number 1, what's your favorite car?
My favorite car's Toyota,
What's your favorite color?
blue.
Are you single?
No.
I was going to ask if you wanted to. Never mind. I'm transferring you now.
Right.
Yes, you're on the air, 478. How are you? On the air with Adam. What's going on?
Yeah, I just want to say I support Trump. I think the threat of nuclear weapons being used against the United States by Iran is real. If you look at the Shiite philosophy, we're called the little demon or the big demon. And Israel is called the little demon or Satan or whatever they want to call us. Israel's in it for its own fight.
Wait. Did you say us? Call us?
I mean us.
You just said, or whatever they call us.
Whatever they call the United States and Israel.
No.
We're not over there for
You
Israel.
were referring what they call Israel, and
No.
you said us. I'm just pointing it out.
We're
Just
not
pointing it out,
fighting
folks.
we're not fighting. The two of us are there, Israel and the United States. We're not there for Israel.
Israel's not even there.
They're fighting in that war, and so are we.
a
And I think
very
they're a good
limited
ally for the United
capacity.
States.
In a very limited
Nobody's
capacity.
pushing. They're not telling us what to do over there.
Yes, they are. So
No,
I'll explain.
they're not.
So number 1, ambitions don't justify a hostility defense. Okay?
What do you mean ambitions? Explain yourself.
Meaning that
Who's
because you believe that someone hates the United States or Israel, that doesn't justify a hostility defense, an imminent threat. One
Those
has the
traits should
ambition.
be. When they're threatening us with a nuclear weapon, that's a very serious threat. Nuclear war is an ugly thing. Nobody wants a nuclear
Well,
war.
they weren't planning.
Do you
to
know
attack
anything
the
about the
United States.
ideology of
Yes,
Shiite?
you don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to explain this.
Their
to you.
militant faction believes that total chaos and the world blowing itself up is the way for them to get to paradise.
Sir. I
You're
spend
confused.
every day studying this in depth. I'm going to explain this
You're
to you.
confused.
I know more than you, and you're about to find out.
No, the
So,
hard lines
do you
over there
understand
are
that
in
there
charge.
do you understand there are laws about war, sir? Let's start there.
What's your beef with Israel?
Do you understand
You're
there
over
are
here
laws?
crying about Israel, and they're not doing anything to the United States.
Yeah. What's my beef with Israel, I wonder?
Yeah. Do you
So
support Hezbollah,
If I have
Hamas?
to answer that question, then you're
and
fucking
Houthis?
clueless. But
Do you
hold
think
on.
the Strait of
Can
Hormuz
can
should
you
be open?
The Strait of Hormuz being choked is a retaliation to the decapitation strike.
Oh, my God. How long has the regime been in there? 47
in
years.
case
You
you
think
guys
they've
don't
been
know
peaceful
this.
for 47 years?
Listen, I'm not going to
Creating
talk over you.
terrorism all across
I'm
the world,
not
and you want to
going
blame Israel?
I'm not going to talk
It's got
over
nothing to
you.
do with Israel.
Sir.
It's got to do with the world, the safety of the world, especially the United States.
Sir, I'm going to explain
You're a
this to you.
hater, is what you are. You're a hater.
Okay. So
I
I'm
don't.
gonna
I worry about America. What
No,
Israel
you don't.
does.
You're
is
worried
Israel's
about
business.
Israel.
No,
So
no, I'm not. I'm not
Israel
even Jewish. I've never been to
Can you
Israel.
shut up
They're
for a
in
second?
they're in it to defend themselves. Quit putting the blame on them.
Can you shut up for a
They're
second,
not
please?
coming over here and telling you to go fight that war over there.
Can you shut up?
They're
so
not
I
over
can,
here telling Americans go to hell.
Can you shut up so I can explain it to you or
You
no?
know, why don't you shut up? How about
no,
that?
I'm not shutting up on my own line. You called my
You're an
line,
idiot.
you Zionist cunt.
You're lying. Okay,
Now
you're
let
on the
me
air.
speak.
You want to be heard.
You want
You're
me to
being
speak
heard.
again?
So shut up and
You're
speak.
scared to let me talk because I will
Why
fucking
don't
embarrass
you want to control?
I will
Controlling is one thing.
All right, have a good day. If you don't let me talk on my own live, it's because you're scared. You don't want to have it back and forth. I'm going to answer whether you're on the line or not. And to anyone who doesn't understand this, typically right-wing morons, I'll explain it to you. There are rules to war. You don't get to just decide to bomb a country. You don't get to just decide that a country hates you, and so now you get to kill their leaders. That's not what justifies a war. War is justified through what's called a hostility defense. We have laws in the War Powers Act, and we have international law. Israel claims, or has been claiming, that Iran was in possession or about to be in possession of a nuclear weapon for the last 35 years. The United States claims that Iran is weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon. Weeks away. Similar to what Israel has been claiming for 35 years. The problem is we conducted a military operation in the summer of 2025 called Operation Midnight Hammer. We bombed 3 sites in Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. We bombed their nuclear technology centers. We dropped bunker busters on their enrichment facilities. The president claimed we obliterated their ability to develop nuclear weapons, and now is claiming, once again, they're weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon. So number one, that's not possible. Number two, Iran does not have the missile technology to reach the United States. Number three, the Strait of Hormuz was not being choked until after the decapitation strikes. That's how little you know, sir. You're complaining about a retaliatory strategy that Iran is using to punish the United States economically. It's in response to what you did. My argument is that military action has only complicated this war, and that diplomacy was the answer from the beginning. You already conducted a military operation. You already claimed to obliterate those capabilities. There was no need to attempt to conduct decapitation strikes. They thought regime change was a possibility because they're incompetent and unprepared. They did not understand that this is a decentralized, multi-layered system that cannot be undone with decapitation strikes. By the time they realized that, it was too late. Go listen to the House Intel Committee hearing and listen to Tulsi Gabbard. Our own intelligence agencies repeat what I'm saying right now. You goofballs. Go ahead. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter.
All right, let me thank these people first. Manny, rest in peace, Mr. Alex Pretty, a real American hero. Thank you, Manny, and rest in peace, Alex Pretty, for sure. Laura, thank you so much. One of these chuds going to realize we're not there for us. We're there for Israel. Yes, we are. And Pick, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. These guys want your fellow Americans to die in this conflict to achieve Israel's objectives. Israel just came out yesterday and complained about Iran's response to the proposal through a Pakistani negotiator. You know what they're mad about? That their objectives are not being fulfilled. They want Iran bombed more. They want the United States deeper in this conflict so they can't get out of it.
I agree.
So they annihilate the entire country.
I agree with that.
Didn't you call the other day and threaten me? Is this the same guy?
No, this is Johnny Walker from Arkansas.
Oh, okay. What's up?
No, I just was listening. It just sounds like a very intelligent conversation, so I thought I'd just talk to you guys for a little bit. I think you're making a lot of good points on both sides, you know. very intelligent conversations. I am a little surprised how often you lose these conversations, though. You know, especially since you're
Listen. You're a cuck. It's the same fucking clown. I knew it was. But just a complete clown who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Everything I just said is true. And by the way, guys, don't believe me. Go listen to the House Intel Committee hearing. Go look up the things I'm saying. You're going to find out very quickly I'm right and they're wrong. Do you know why? Because they're stupid. That's why. They're stupid. That's exactly why. Stupid and unwilling to learn. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah, that's just that same troll who fucking... Literally, the argument with the last guest was whether or not ambitions justify legally conducting decapitation strikes on a country. If you think that they do, you're a fucking moron, okay? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, why'd you call that last caller a cuck?
Because he is. So would
I
you...
must have caught that at the tail end.
Yeah, because he is a cuck.
But,
so are you?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, listen, if you support Trump, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, I want to ask you a question. Did you vote for Joe Biden?
Yes.
Wow. Did you vote for Kamala?
Yes.
Wow. And what's that like as a man to stand in line for Kamala Harris?
I found it to be the best thing for the country. I'm anti-fascist to my core, and Trump is a fascist, authoritarian clown that should not be president of the United States, who has zero respect for the Constitution. So that's just the way it goes.
I would open up on Kamala Harris, but she didn't
Why don't
win
you
the
do it?
election,
Let's
so-
talk about it. Can you tell me what
Well,
you...
she didn't win. She didn't win the
Here's how I
election.
can prove that Kamala Harris would have been better than Donald Trump. It's so easy. Watch. Kamala Harris wouldn't have invaded Iran. End of story. End of conversation. She wouldn't have invaded Iran. It's that simple, right? She
we
had no
didn't
interest in
invade
invading
Iran.
Iran. So why didn't Joe Biden invade Iran?
Well, why did Joe Biden let Ukraine get out of control?
He didn't. The fuck are you talking about?
Oh, he wasn't president when that was going down?
Who do you think controls those funds? Congress or the president?
The president.
No.
And also, under the Trump
Congress.
administration-
This guy thinks the president. Guy, there's a bipartisan decision by Congress to support Ukraine. It is not a decision by the president. You don't know how the three branches of government work clearly, but our support for Ukraine. Do you agree with the support for Ukraine or no?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, do you understand that the reason we're supporting Ukraine is because we have a previous diplomatic agreement dating back to 1994?
Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about an agreement you have in place with another country. Meanwhile, we're trying to negotiate one with Iran and get them to trust us. And simultaneously, we're going to break an agreement we have that says that we'll defend a country who surrenders their nuclear capabilities. But go ahead.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, what I was going to ask originally, I was going to ask you about Kamala, but she didn't win the presidency, so I was going to ask you about Joe Biden. How do you feel Joe Biden did?
So I know you want to talk about Joe Biden, and I'm trying to, but you don't seem competent enough to have the conversation. I gave you an answer to your question. You said he got Ukraine out of control. We have an agreement in place that says that Ukraine, if Ukraine's sovereignty is infringed upon, we would assist in their defense because they surrendered their nuclear capabilities. Do you think that Iran should be coming to the table and making a similar agreement with the United States? And why would Iran trust us in a diplomatic agreement if we don't uphold previous diplomatic agreements?
I never brought up Iran. Anyway, back to my
You
question.
brought up
How
Ukraine,
did
you
feel Joe
simpleton.
Biden performed during
Hold on.
his term?
Excuse me. I asked you, how was Joe Biden a bad president? You said he let Ukraine get out of control. I answered your question. What's your response?
My response is yes. Now, in regards to Joe Biden, do you know that over his term,
He won't answer.
He gave the Taliban over $5
Notice how he
billion.
won't answer,
What are your
folks.
thoughts on
Notice
Joe
how he
Biden
won't.
giving
Notice how he
the
won't
Taliban
respond.
$5 billion
Notice how he won't
over 4
respond.
years?
Notice how he won't respond to what I said. He thinks he's just going to keep spewing misinformation on the live without responding to what I said. You made a statement. I responded. What's your response? We don't done just go to the next talking point. We done finished the talking point we done was on. You done understand that? Joe Biden said that. Joe Biden gets mentioned. Like, I don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. Joe Biden's eating mint chocolate chip ice cream in Martha's Vineyard. I'm not interested in talking about Joe Biden right now. Our country is being destroyed. I don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. All right? Dear God. You done, you done ready to respond to the done point I made? Because we ain't done continuing the conversation until done you finish it.
Yeah. Anyway, so are you going to be an adult or?
Yeah, if you
what's the deal here?
you're gonna learn to have a conversation the right way, or I'm gonna just move
Right,
on
let's
to the
have
next
conversation.
guest.
Sure, let's have a conversation. So
Cool.
my
So you
question to
asked
you
me.
is,
Hold on. You made a statement that Joe Biden ruined
here we
the
go.
country by destroying Ukraine. I responded to that. What's your rebuttal?
My rebuttal is we need to get out of Ukraine immediately. We probably should have never been in Iran. I think
That's not a
the,
response, sir. You said he's destroying Ukraine. I explained to you that this was a bipartisan decision by Congress to support Ukraine. I don't think you even understand. Can you tell me what countries border Ukraine?
What is it? Yeah, Ukraine. Anyway, so yeah, back to Joe Biden.
Ukraine borders
what are your
Ukraine?
thoughts on-
I don't think you know where Ukraine is on a map. I seriously don't think you have a single
Okay,
solitary
let's
clue
just say, for
about
argument's
Ukraine.
sake, just so we can move on. Okay. Yeah, you win on Ukraine. All right. So now,
UN?
now let's break down Joe Biden.
No, we're not
what are
saying
your
I
thoughts on
win.
Joe?
No, we're not saying I win. Listen.
All right.
Listen,
All right.
you
Just
don't want to
calm
have
down.
a conversation. You're not capable
Just
of having
breathe.
one. Stop wasting
Breathe,
my
breathe.
time. Okay? Stop wasting my time. Let's say you done win on Ukraine. We done moving to the next point. Now, Joe Biden said that, dude, we're not going through a list of things you don't like about Joe Biden. No one gives a fuck. Bro doesn't know where Ukraine is on a fucking map, like most of you MAGA people. So you don't agree with the war in Ukraine because you don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about the war in Iran either. You don't know anything about anything, which is why we're here today. Fucking imbeciles. Joe Biden's eating mint chocolate chip ice cream in Martha's Vineyard. Why are they so obsessed with Joe Biden? Like, does anyone give a shit about Joe Biden right now? I haven't thought about... The only time I even think about Joe Biden is when one of these troglodytes brings him up. Otherwise, I don't even think about Joe Biden. Couldn't give a fuck less. I'm going to do whatever I want, Shane, and you're going to shut the fuck up. And if you don't like it, you can leave. Got it? Tell me what the fuck to do. Why would I go visit Iran, nasty boy, when I'm quite literally saying we shouldn't be there? I'm saying we shouldn't be there. Do you understand? Why would I go there? I'm saying we shouldn't be there. They spent 4 years trashing Biden. Now Trump is in there doing a terrible job. We're in the middle of a war, and they still want to talk about Biden. Like, the fuck? I mean, it's unbelievable to me. It really is. Unbelievable. I want to talk about Joe Biden. That's nice. I bet you do. But we ain't going to do it. And you're not capable of having the conversation. The first topic you brought up, you were proven wrong on, and then you wanted to skip to the next one. That shows me you're not interested in having a conversation. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah.
How old are you, dude?
I'm 17, and I'm turning 18
I'm
tomorrow.
sorry, brother. I appreciate you, but call back when you're 18, dude. I got you.
Huh?
Call back when you're 18, bro. I appreciate you
Come on.
I appreciate you being interested in politics, but I can't, man. I appreciate it, though. I 100% will take you when you're 18, all right?
Oh, man. All right.
Call me when you're 18, dude. I promise we'll talk. I appreciate young guys being involved in politics. It's not responsible, though, for me to put you, to talk to you in front of people, and then somebody fucking
Call from.
does something, you know, it's just not responsible. What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Man. Oh, yeah, I'm Scorpio, man. You know I am.
I have no fucking idea who you are.
Well, I got one thing to tell you.
Didn't you hang up on me yesterday? Fuck out of here.
Call from.
It's Jimmy.
What's going on? Are you a Trump supporter?
Adam, you there?
Yes, this is the screener. Before you do, can you please tell me your favorite color? By the way, guys, Sport Talk with Tony is crying in the chat about super chats. So, guys, make sure you send me some super chats. Sport Talk with Tony in the chat is very jealous about the super chats. So, I'm glad he reminded me because now I'm going to make another goal. So, guys, I would appreciate supporting with super chats on behalf of Sport Talk Tony. He's very jealous in the chat. Do it on behalf. He tried to start a podcast about talking sports, and it didn't work out. So now he's resorted to crying in my live. Are you a Trump supporter, dude? What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, Adam? How you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
Hey, man. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on what that previous caller was talking about as far as the Biden administration.
No, I'm not interested in talking about Biden. Do you want to talk about what's happening right now, or do you want me to move on to the next guest?
Why don't you want to talk about Biden?
Because Biden is not the president anymore. X Alive. Now we have a guy named X Alive in the chat crying about the super chats, guys. They're super triggered. Thank you, Dory. This is from Sport Talk Tony. Thank you so much, Dory. Mama Leah. Thank you, Mama Leah. Yeah, it's the same exact guy. It's just calling from a different number. He's just calling from a different number. What an obsessed little dork. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Kim, you feel sorry for these young kids on live stream. Kim, I think it's the opposite. I feel sorry for you fucking people who support Trump. Feel incredibly sorry for you. Are you a Trump supporter? How old are you?
I'm 21.
No, you're not.
Call from.
Listen, you've got to find something better to do. Tomorrow's
Adam,
Friday.
come on. Let's just talk.
Linda,
Let's just
thank
talk,
you
Adam.
so much, Linda. No, you're going to respond to the Ukraine thing, and we're going to go through it.
Adam, breathe.
Don't tell me what to do,
Why don't
bro.
you want to talk about Biden? Why don't
Because
you
he's
want to
not
talk
the
about Biden?
president anymore. I'm over it. I talked about him for 4 years. I'm done.
Yeah, but you're a liberal, and I want to get your
I'm not a
thoughts
liberal.
on
I'm
his
farther
presidency.
left than liberals. I am
Okay.
farther
All right,
left
so
than a
you voted
liberal.
for Biden.
I am basically what the White House warned you about: radical, Antifa, anti-government. That's what I am. I'm what the Trump administration warned you about. Justine, thank you so much, Justine.
Look, Adam, I'm trying to be respectful. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
I'm trying
talk
to,
about the
talk to you on
Iran
your
war
show.
or something during Trump's term, and then we'll go. I'm not talking about Biden's administration. I don't care anymore. It's over.
But
It's
why
done.
not?
Because I
But
don't
why
care.
not?
Because I'm past it. It's over. I've talked about Biden.
Are you ashamed of what he did during his presidency? Like, I'm really trying to get your views.
Like what?
On Joe Biden's
Like
presidency.
what?
That's all I'm
What
trying to do.
exactly are you talking about? The first thing you brought up was Ukraine, and I proved you wrong, right?
No, I didn't bring up Ukraine. You did, actually.
No,
But,
you said,
yeah.
I asked you, what did Biden do wrong? And you said he destroyed Ukraine.
Nah, that was a different caller.
It definitely wasn't, but okay. What's up? What do you want to talk about
Just
with
answer
Biden?
this one question. Okay, perfect. Excellent. How do you feel about Joe Biden giving...
I waited until he got almost all the way through. I know. I'm so bored of the Biden shit too. I debated Biden shit for years. It was so boring. What's up? Are you a Trump supporter? I'm over it. Like, we did the Biden shit. He's not the president anymore. Are you a Trump supporter? Go ahead.
Yes, I am.
I like talking about modern day politics. So do you support the war in Iran?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do I support it? I support it because I believe that Trump has the best intention in mind to keep Iran from having nuclear weapons. Very simple. That's it. Nothing else to it. Just
Well, at least
Iran
you're
not
actually
having nuclear weapons.
actually arguing the administration's objective and not some sort of made up objective. So I'll
That
give
is
you
the
that.
objective.
I know it is, but I'm going to tell you why it's not true right now. Can you tell me what Operation Midnight Hammer was specifically?
I believe it was to diminish some of the enriched uranium in Iran.
Diminish some of the enriched uranium.
I don't
No.
really know exactly.
Well, you not knowing is exactly why you believe Donald Trump has your best
I
interest.
trust the administration.
Okay, and I'm going to explain to you why they're lying to you. So the fact that you don't know that is entirely the problem. It's the problem with 85% of the people that I talk to. They're not aware of what's happened outside of just this conflict, this epic fury or whatever he calls it.
Why else are they trying to do?
Well, I'm going to explain it. So we conducted an operation already in the summer of 2025, which was a special military operation, although I was opposed to, was a much better option than this current military strategy of decapitation strikes and trying to provoke an uprising from the Iranian people. We bombed 3 sites in the summer of 2025, Natanz, Esfahan, and Fordow. We bombed a nuclear technology center. We dropped bunker busters on their enrichment facility and claimed that we obliterated their ability to develop nuclear weapons. Everyone thought that that aspect of Iran was at least temporarily on hold. And I'm not talking about months, we're talking about years, because we had a diplomatic agreement in place and Donald Trump tore it up and instead opted for this military action. So you can only assume that this is going to keep them from developing and or using. Can you please stop talking? Developing and or using nuclear weapons for an extended period of time, and then maybe come to some kind of diplomatic solution, because we were currently in the middle of negotiations. Iran, while negotiating with the United States, was under the assumption that those negotiations would continue. Instead, the United States and Israel conducted decapitation strikes, killing their leadership. How can, if we already obliterated those capabilities, it be a primary objective months later? Rory, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you, Disco D. Adam, you're wasting your time. Probably. Go ahead.
But why were you against the Operation Midnight Hammer, though? I'm just curious. Why is that a bad thing
because
that
I
they destroyed their
don't
nuclear?
because I don't. Well, I was against the aspects of it. Number one, Donald Trump gave them advanced knowledge, which led to trucks being parked outside Fordo, for instance, prior to the strikes. I don't think intelligence indicates that Iran is currently building a nuclear weapon, which came to be true when Tulsi Gabbard and our intelligence agencies testified that is in fact the case.
So you're doubting our intelligence agency? What are you trying to say?
No, our intelligence agencies agree with me. They said there is no development of nuclear weapons. They couldn't even justify that there was an imminent threat within the next 90 days. Did you watch the House Intel Committee hearing? So answer my immediate question. If we conducted an operation in the summer of 2025 and obliterated these capabilities, how can it be a primary objective months later?
I hear maybe you're right, but it doesn't. That doesn't. I'm still not against it because the fact that we have a country that hates us, that says death to America, that wants to support terrorism all over the world. I don't think even if they weren't gonna make a nuclear weapon, or for whatever reason, they need a whole regime change. They need to be gone. We cannot have them here having any ballistic missiles of any sort. It's just not an option for us. We need to show power. We need to get rid of them.
Okay, can you tell me why you think they would say death to America? Let's just break this down for a second.
So you think they're good people? You think you're going for Iran in this case? You want Iran to win? I'm just curious. Like, where do you stand on all this?
That it's completely justified for them to have the feelings they do because in 1953, the United States and Britain overthrew Iran's democratically elected leader who had been elected through their system and was seen as a reformer because he wanted to nationalize the oil industry or did nationalize the oil industry, and it was controlled by, so that's called a coup, dude. That's a coup. So the United States and Britain couped Iran's democratically elected leadership and installed the Shah. Okay? So I think when most Trump supporters say, "Oh, look what's happening to the people of Iran." That's a direct result of the United States. That is a direct result of the United States. The United States did that.
So why would the Shah be upset in the United States? Why would their leaders be upset if we put them into power? What do you mean?
What?
You just said we put them into power. They had a democratic leader, and we overthrew their democratic.
Do you not know the history of Iran? Do you know anything about the coup? Most Iranians see the coup in 53 as basically the turning point that poisoned their trust in the United States and Britain for decades. I'm trying to explain to you this is what helped shape the anger that you're talking about, right? This is what we're talking about here. They're saying death to the United States. Why do they have this broader hostility towards the West and the United States in specific, right?
Okay.
So I'm trying to explain to you, just saying death to the United States does not justify any type of decapitation strike against them, right? Furthermore, I would add, Iran, right, doesn't have a system in which you can overthrow with decapitation strikes. So part of it is I think it's wrong, right? Part of it I think it's illegal. So I think there's a moral part of this conversation. I think morally it's wrong. I think it's illegal. So morally wrong. I think it's illegal as there's no hostility defense. We've already covered that. No imminent threat. I think Donald Trump needed congressional authorization. There's a bunch of reasons why I think it's illegal, but let's just focus on the fact that there's no hostility defense for the legal argument. And then the final part of this argument, right, is whether or not it's possible. Can the objectives be achieved? And the answer to that question, in my opinion, is no, and I can explain why I think the answer is no. Because are you familiar with how Iran's current system is structured, specifically studying the collapse of the Hussein regime in the 26-day war?
No, I'm not such a history guy, as you can tell.
It's not about history. It's happening right now. It's a restructured military doctrine they're using right now. So to simplify it, Iran has a very multi-layered, decentralized system of power. Power is spread out across the regime. And the IRGC in specific is broken up into 31 different commands over 31 different provinces, making it incredibly difficult to defeat. The reason they're restructured this way is to make it impossible, regardless of how many military assets you have, right? To make it impossible, to drag war out as long as possible so you can punish the country attempting to overthrow your regime economically and politically, which is what they're doing right now, right? They're trying to stretch this conflict out as long as possible. They don't need communication with the regime. They operate independently. So you have these independent commands, right? With their own weapons, with their own communications, 31 different armies makes it very difficult. So just coming through and conducting decapitation strikes won't overthrow the regime. I think the United States thought if you killed the supreme leader and some powerful people in the regime, that ultimately it would be like a chicken with its head cut off running around and they would eventually uprise, considering tensions were high in these protests. But it just didn't work out that way because their system is quite literally designed to survive decapitation strikes. And that's something that, and again, that goes back to lack of preparation and incompetence, which we've talked about, right? That's why I said, did you watch the House Intel Committee hearing? Because they basically said the same thing, right? That, it really, this is, the regime is up and running. The regime is operating the way it should be, even after the strikes have occurred.
What bothers me most is the fact that people are just anti-American. They don't even want America to win. It's like they're rooting against America. Like a lot of media narrative. Like,
well, that's not the case for me.
Okay.
I want America to win, but I want America to win the right way. I care about what my fellow Americans, how it's affecting them personally. And I know my fellow Americans are paying more at the gas pump right now during an affordability crisis. And I know they're paying more for groceries. And I know they're dying. And I know it's not to advance their interests. And that's what pisses me off.
What would you do
if
you were
listen to me. Let me simplify this for you, right? How is this making your life better? Now that we've established the legal aspect, the moral aspect, and whether or not it's possible to achieve these objectives. And I think you pretty much believe what I'm saying. You know I'm not lying to you, right? How does this advance your interests, the interests of the American people?
Well, we really have to see how it plays out. So it's really hard to say what's going to come out from it. But it could be very preventative if we can somehow reshape Iran's future.
Look, I think that people try and dismiss criticism by saying, well, these people just hate the United States, right? It's not about hating the United States. Why would I hate the country I live in? I love the United States. I love the people of the United States. Why would I want my own country to be hurt? Does that make any sense? I live here.
It's not you. It's a lot of the media. It's a lot.
Okay, well, whatever whatever the media is, the media is. I don't necessarily agree with that either, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
Be careful not to dismiss criticism, right? Our founding fathers said that criticism was important to maintain the integrity of our government. Far too often, the right dismisses criticism as hatred for America, and that's just not true, dude. It's not true.
Well, you can get confused between criticism and hatred. You can just say, I don't like what they're doing, or I hate America.
No, you know how you said earlier, right? We were talking about why they say death to America, and I explained to you that a lot of Iranians see the 1953 coup as a turning point that poisoned the trust in the United States for decades. Right, and shaped the anger and fueled the anger, right, that we're talking about, and fueled the revolution against the Shah. And the hostility towards the West doesn't come from just hating the United States because we don't like their way of life, right? And it's important you understand this, right? I'm not just saying I don't care that they say death to America, because I also hate America. That's what I think a lot of Republicans think, and it's just not true. If I thought Iran was legitimately preparing an attack against the United States, I would be on board with doing something about that. I don't believe that is true. I think most of these countries, particularly in the Middle East, largely just want to be left alone. Okay? And the United States has a long history of doing these things. It's not trust me when I tell you, our government would love for you to believe that these countries hate us because they don't like that we're a democracy, or they don't like that we're a Christian country, or any of these things. None of those things are true.
Really? So why do they hate us?
There's no way you're asking me that question.
Because of the 1953 thing?
1953 thing. The United States and Britain overthrew their democratically elected leader. If Iran came into the United States and did that to us, we would never forgive them. You understand?
Right, so
we destroyed their country. Destroyed
How does that
it.
explain how the leaders of Iran now hate us?
How does that explain why the leaders of now hate the United States?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand your question.
You said we overthrew their government leader, right, in 1953, and then a radical leader took over, correct?
No. A radical leader. Listen, dude, here's what I'll encourage you to do. Go read into the history of Iran. I don't want to give you an entire history lesson, and it doesn't appear you're listening to me really, so there's no point. But I encourage you to go look into why they have this ideological commitment, how these powers came to be, right? Okay? Why they don't trust the United States. Don't listen to me. Just go look it up, okay? You'll understand, right?
Well, but it's not just only the United States. They hate everybody. They just
no.
want to kill.
It's very particular to the United States in this case.
Really?
Yes.
And Israel
And Israel's also done several things that justify that hatred. We're not saying this isn't good guy versus bad guy. I'm just simply pointing out the fact that the United States is not the good guy. That doesn't automatically make Iran's current leadership the good guy, right? Two sides can be bad, right? Two sides cannot be good. I don't think there is necessarily a good side in a traditional good versus evil type scenario. I'm just pointing out the United States is not good. The way that you're thinking of the United States as the good guy in this circumstance, largely due to American exceptionalist indoctrination, is not true. The United States has a history of cooing countries that nationalize their oil industry, okay? And so I encourage you to go look.
Sponsor of terrorism.
I know. Well, I would argue the United States. I would argue the United States is, but that's besides the point.
Huh?
I would argue the United States is. Listen, I don't want to get into a deep conversation. I'm trying to be respectful, dude, but to be completely honest, you're not equipped to have a deep conversation about the history of the country, like in the United States or in the Middle East or anything, right? If you didn't know about the coup, you're not going to understand, right? It's going to take hours of research. You need to go look these things up. Come back. We'll have a conversation. I gave you a little bit I explained it to you the best I could in this conversation, but I can't give you a history lesson in front of the chat. They want to hear me talk to other people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Yeah, I just think the guy just has to do some more research. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're willing to do it. There's nothing to shame about people needing to do more research. That's fine. The only thing we shame is when people refuse to do it, right? When people say, well, I'm not going to research because I know what I'm talking about. Those are the people we can shame. I do like your history lessons out. That's a deep conversation. It's not going to be specific to Iran either. I mean, we could even talk about recent history in the global war on terror. I don't pick up fake numbers.
Call
We can
from.
talk about, we can literally talk about recent history too in the global war on terror. We don't even have to go back to 1953. Let's just talk about what the United States has done in the Middle East as of recently. Hello?
What up, Adam?
Have you already called?
No.
Okay, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do. Let me ask you something, Adam. And by the way, that guy kind of stopped you on that last question. That's kind of why you want to get off the phone. But
The
let me
guy,
ask you something
that
about
guy
Donald
kind
Trump.
of what?
Yeah, he kind of got you stumbling in your tracks. He made you go back and say, "Oh, I don't understand your question," but we'll move on from that.
What
Anyway,
question? What, you think the last guy stumped me?
Adam, let's not do this, Adam.
Tell
Come
me
on.
what he stumped me on.
Well, you were breaking down like the history of 1953, and then he hit you with a question. And he goes, "Well, why do they hate us now?" And he's like, "Oh, well."
The
I don't
answer is
understand.
obvious, you fool. The country would still be a democracy had they not interfered. You think he stumped me? Listen, just
he
based
did.
off
He did. Why don't you tell him that, then?
just based off that comment, you're an idiot. Okay? Just based off that comment, you're an idiot. He didn't stump me, you goof. The question was idiotic. Why would they hate it? The country would not be in the position it's in if they hadn't done it. You think that guy stumped me? Oh my God, they're so dumb, dude. Like, honestly. He had you stumbling on your words. It's unbelievable. Big City says, what do y'all expect to learn from this guy? He doesn't know anything. Call in, Big City. Let's find out if I don't know anything. By the way, let's pull up Big City real quick. He's been talking a lot of shit in the chat, so he's going to get the honorable mention this evening. We're going to pull him up because he keeps saying that. So let's pull it up really quick. Give him the honorable mention here, folks. This is going to be good. You guys are going to like this one. He's been talking a lot of shit in the chat, too. It's a good one, trust me. You're going to enjoy this deeply. Chestnuts roasting on my little jet ski. Yeah, I think it's appropriate to call people stupid who are stupid. I think when people say stupid shit, it's appropriate to call them stupid. And if you don't like it, you're in the wrong fucking live. Go find a live that doesn't call stupid people stupid. This isn't one of them. Sorry, Charlie. This is him right here. This is the guy in the chat that's been yapping for I don't know how long. Him on his jet ski. It wasn't a good question. If you think it was a good question, it's because you're also dumb, right? It's just a matter of fact. I'm very matter of fact. You know what matter of fact? Big City's calling himself handsome in the chat. He's the only one. Goodbye, Big City. He's really... Brock is trying to defend Trump in the chat. What's his name? Brack or Brock? He's trying to defend Trump? Dude, there's no defending this. Stop it. Save your breath, Adam. Dude's one brain cell is gone. I know, Neil. Unfortunately, I try too hard, you know. They don't listen. They only talk. I know. It's... Listen, you can't blame me for trying, though, you know. I think the younger guy was all right. He was willing to listen and stuff, but he's got to go, like, research the things I'm talking about. Yes, I am a true patriot. To my core, I'm a real patriot. Kimberly, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo, says for hanging up on that loser MAGA. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Kimberly. I'm not going to play this game. Dude hooded at the campfire like... 210 Rain Christopher, thank you so much. Appreciate it, 210 Rain Christopher. Thank you, 210 Rain Christopher. Dan, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Are you like stupid or something? Fucking idiot. Are you new here? Have you ever watched me before? Dumbass. Yes, I did, Lala. Jesus loves you so much that he died on the cross to save us all from our sins. Well, I'm sure you think that. Whatever. I don't have any problem with you practicing whatever religion you want. Dracos Rose, welcome to the Muppet Mashers. Let's fucking go, Dracos. Appreciate you, Dracos. Appreciate you, Dracos. Timothy, I don't know what you're talking about. Just call in. Trump is a terrible president. I've explained it several times just through the course of this fucking live stream. And if you haven't heard me, it's because you're not listening. Donald Trump got us into the war in Iran. That enough proves he's a bad president. Donald Trump's immigration policy's been a disaster. His foreign policy's been a disaster. I don't know what to tell you. The economy's in the toilet. What would you like to talk about? Every aspect of his presidency has been an utter failure. You support him because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's just own the libs politicking. Are these guys acting like I don't prove Trump is a bad president on a daily basis? Guys, I want you to understand this. You voted for someone who told you to your face he was going to release the Epstein files, got in office and instructed his Department of Justice to interfere with the release of a law passed by Congress, and you took it. And you did nothing. Bro says I'm smarter than you. Yeah, I know. I'm sure you think you are. Dumb people typically do think that, right? Dumb people typically do think that. And New York Giants D-Bone. Dumb people do typically think they're smarter than me. And so, and then they end up talking to me and they find out very quickly that's not the fucking case. And that's typically how it goes. Do you think having a woman in charge would be better? Yeah, actually I do. As a matter of fact, I do. I think this country and the world could greatly benefit from the temperament of a woman. And I will tell you that other countries have already had women in charge. And if you don't think women can do the job, it's because you're a misogynistic piece of shit. Okay? Nothing more, nothing less. Guys, look what this guy just said. Do I need to say more than this? Look what this dude just wrote. Do I really need to say anything else to this question? Remember when I said typically dumb people think they're smarter than me? Do I need to say anything else to this? Really. I mean, honestly. Like, could you prove my point anymore? Goofy. God, I love how pissed off MAGA gets at me, isn't it? Like, isn't it just such a joy? I know you think that, Cindy. You voted for a pedophile, though. Just remember that, okay? You voted for a PDF file. And that's a fact. Right? And there's no changing it. Christopher says you're weak for not answering the phone. Christopher, no one knows who you are. Shut the fuck up. All right? Shut your ass up. All right? Shut your ass up.
Call from
You voted for a pedophile.
MAGA.
Turn the live stream off in the background, moron, or I'm hanging out.
No one knows who you are. Shut the fuck
Turn the
How you
live
doing,
stream
man?
off in the background.
No, hang on, let me mute it.
Yeah, you should have done that before you fucking called, Goofy.
Are you that weak?
Turn the live off or I'm moving to the next guest. Do what you're
I'm
told.
on a different phone.
Do what you're told.
I'm on a different phone.
Now go ahead. What's up?
I'm just sitting here listening to you rant out. I think it's hilarious. Your prompt is Trump is a badass president. Absolutely.
It says Trump is a bad president, not a badass president, you goofball.
Well, I mean, you're a liberal, so I mean, you probably want to be polite and not,
I'm not
say
liberal.
cuss words.
I'm not liberal. So
What are you?
And by the way,
Are you a
I'm
communist?
also not accepting of bigotry, misogyny, any of those other things. So stupidity.
That's awesome.
I'm a straightforward leftist. And if
So,
if the things I say make you uncomfortable, and most of the people who watch me can tell you, if I make you uncomfortable, it's likely because you fall into one of the categories of bigotry. Otherwise, you'll typically like what I have to say.
I mean, I watched your live for a few minutes, and I can see you have a lot of mental illness problems.
So did you graduate high school?
I have a college degree,
Okay, in what?
aviation.
Yeah. So if you wanted to diagnose people, then you should have went to college to be a provider, not a bachelor's degree in flying airplanes. Okay. By the way, what do you do for
What do you think?
what do you
that
do for a
college-
living? Listen, don't diagnose people. All right. You're not a
I'm
doctor.
an airline pilot. I'm an airline pilot.
I don't give a shit what you are. You aren't
You
diagnosing
just asked
people,
me what
simpleton.
the fuck I do for a living, dude.
Yeah, to point out the fact that you don't diagnose people. All right. That's why
Then
you're
what
not
do
a
you do?
doctor. You're not a doctor for a reason. Okay. So don't diagnose
No,
people.
because I don't like
If
blood.
you're not a doctor, because you don't like blood. Is that what you just said?
Doctors deal with blood daily.
Okay. I don't think that's why you're not a doctor, but, whatever you say, whatever makes you feel better. So why do you like Trump again? By the way, do you have a problem with Trump not releasing the Epstein files? Just curious as a pilot. Hey, by the way, Emily, thank you for the $4.99. Appreciate you so much. Says for the goal.
Epstein
Thanks,
files were
Adam.
released.
Okay, Emily sent a super chat. Be quiet. Emily
Man,
says,
I don't care.
"Shut up." Emily,
You
thank
shut
you.
up!
Emily, thank you. God, they're so obnoxious. Emily, thank you for the $4.99 super chat for the goal. Thanks, and don't forget to like the live. Yes, guys, don't forget to like the live. If you do enjoy the content, I would appreciate contributing to the super chat goal, hitting the like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss future lives and hit the notification bell. All right, let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it
Yes,
now.
ma'am. Let's go.
So real quick, Why do you? I'm just curious. Like, do you have any problem with Donald Trump not releasing the Epstein files? You said you're a pilot,
The
right?
Epstein files were released back in December of 2025. Next.
No, they weren't.
3 million pages.
No, they weren't. There's way more
Yes,
than
ma'am,
what
they
was
were.
released on the. No.
3 million pages were released.
All right.
Next.
So let's look it up. Right. I'm just gonna simply Google. Have all of the Epstein files been? Were all of the Epstein files released by? I'm just gonna Google it. Okay. Were all?
Yes, ma'am.
Of the
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just going to keep saying yes, ma'am, to try and be funny, because I don't typically say yes, ma'am, because women don't come within 100 yards of me. So, were all of the
How
Epstein
careful when they come in
files?
the 100 yards, you're not, dude.
Were all of the Epstein
You do
files
you.
released?
You
Can
do
you shut
you.
up while I'm
You're
talking?
liberal.
I know you're intoxicated, and I highly doubt you're a pilot with the way you're talking. Were all of the Epstein files that this guy played like flight simulator in his mom's basement?
How many
and now he
Epstein
claims he's a
files
fucking,
were
you're not a
released in
pilot. I can
December of
tell you're not a pilot.
2025?
So, guys, I just Googled it, right? All I said was, were all of the Epstein files released on December 19th, 2025? Here's the answer from Google. No. On December 9th, and this is from NPR, by the way. On December 19th, can you
radical
stop
left
talking?
wing.
I'll just mute you while I respond to it. So I have to mute him. I have to mute you because you won't stop interrupting me. So, ugh. So no, only a partial release happened. Not all of the Epstein files have been released. So now that we just Googled it and found out that you were wrong, I'll ask you again. Do you have a problem with this administration?
Because you won't stop interrupting me.
Okay,
so.
now he has the live stream back up. Let's just hang up. I mean, they're just too dumb, guys. They're honestly too much to take. Like, it's like these people are creepy. They're simpletons. They're unwilling to accept the truth, and it's exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting. To the person in chat that keeps telling me to please be more selective with the callers, how the fuck would you like me to do that? Do you think that I know these people before calling? They're random people on the internet. How would I do such a thing? I'm doing the best that I can by accepting the people that call in. Unless I have a system or you would like to volunteer to sit on a phone line and screen callers for me for free, then please don't criticize my mechanics here. You think that I can possibly do that? You need a screener because they always tell the truth. Well, that's what I mean. Like, even if you had a screener, it wouldn't make a sense, right? It wouldn't make sense anyway because they don't tell the truth, right? Even if I had a screener, they're just gonna lie. So what difference would it make? I thought about that too. It was like, fuck it. You're right about that. I show movie from Africa. Love your content. Learning English from you and fuck Trump. I show movie. Let's go. I love that fucking super chat from Africa. Love your content, learning English from you and fuck Trump. Love that super chat. Thank you so much, iShow. Appreciate you. They really do. No, just tell him that you're going to send them an airline ticket from Spirit. Make sure you get on the plane. That dude wasn't a pilot. Every pilot I've ever met has been like incredibly professional. Is it just me? It's not about screening them. It's not letting them cackle for 5 minutes. Bro, I'm doing the best that I can. If you don't like it, then don't watch. All right? I'm doing the best that I can. 90% of them are fucking weirdos. All right? So, I'm trying to get through to as many people as I can. And, I don't know. If you don't like it, then don't watch. I'm trying my best. Adskiv, I have no idea what you're talking about. My own shortcomings? What the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? Let's see what comes out of the trip to China. I talked about this before. I think that China is going to help the United States get out of Iran by guaranteeing they keep the Strait of Hormuz open. But I don't think there's going to be much accomplished when it comes to the nuclear part of the agreement. I wouldn't fly with him either. Emily, thank you for becoming a tadpole, Emily. Later, dude. See you later. Get fucked. That's good, Ad Skev. I really don't give a shit. Get fucking lost. You voted for a pedophile. Your opinion means nothing to me. All right. You want to talk about the pandemic coming? I hope there's not a pandemic coming, but you can talk about whatever you want, dude. Marcus, thank you for the $5 super chat, bro. Appreciate you. The only way Trump would lose his MAGA base is if he were black. Facts. He never would have had it to begin with. Like I said earlier, the MAGA is just a continuation of the Confederacy, really. The issue's much bigger. It's much bigger than MAGA. It doesn't go away if MAGA goes away. Like, I think a lot of people think if MAGA goes away, that, like, the country becomes good again. It doesn't. Like, the country wasn't good before MAGA. There's major issues that need to be addressed, and it's really not going to be fixed without completely overhauling the entire system. We have way too many sickos in government. Way too many sick, fucking perverted freaks.
Call from.
Jonathan?
Jonathan, hold on a second.
Call from.
At Brett Sexton.
Brad Sexton. You don't need to say your first and last name, brother. What's going on?
Doing good. Doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. What's up?
Oh,
hold on one second. Can you give your opinion on my super chat? I didn't see your super chat. Let me see.
I don't think I put the super chat up, so I don't think so.
No. Somebody said, can you give your opinion? I said, what was your super chat, Archive? Hold on. I don't want to not read someone's fucking super chat here. That ain't cool. So let me...
Right.
Hold on one second.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, I'm sorry, Archive. That's my bad, bro.
Okay, gotcha.
Hold on. Unhinged behavior push people towards voting for Trump. I don't know. No, I don't think necessarily identity politics. I think that, no, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I could see where you're coming from. All right, what's going on, dude? Thank you, Archive. Appreciate you. Go ahead.
Okay, so, yeah, I was hearing the last caller where I think you were talking about the Epstein thing, and I was kind of one of those people kind of believed in that stuff, kind of like, you know, what's Trump going to do the whole Epstein file and all that
Brad,
stuff?
all you had to do was hang on, and you would have been after this caller, but you hung up. So, all right, sorry, brother. Go ahead.
So, and did I believe he was going to do that? And I think they only let out like half of it so far, which I think should have been full, in my opinion. That's just me. So I'll give Trump a blame for that part, for just only letting half of it. Should have been full, because that's just really important.
Well,
because
the problem is that there's been a conspiracy to conceal it, much bigger than just not releasing it, right?
Correct. Yeah.
There's been several. He didn't even want the bill to go to Congress. You know, he tried to stop the. If you go and listen, Thomas Massey just did an interview with Tucker Carlson. He broke this whole thing down. Stuff I honestly am so tired of saying it. I don't even want to repeat it. But Donald Trump listen to the stuff he said about Donald Trump trying to convince people not to sign on to the discharge petition. The stuff he says about the meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell, the threats that Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and Marjorie Taylor Greene received for not going along with his efforts to stop them from signing the discharge petition. The fact that the law requires all of it, because remember, the law requires everything to be released. We don't really know how much has to be released yet. It could be I don't know. I think they gave a number. I want to say 3 point something million or whatever. But it doesn't matter. The point is everything to do with Epstein needs to be released. Every memo. I don't care if there's a bar napkin and someone in the Department of Justice was discussing whether or not, or with the Deputy Attorney General, whether or not to investigate someone in an administration. Everything has to be released. And they haven't done that, right? They've December 9th, the law was carefully crafted to only prevent victims' private information from being released to the public. They only released part of the information that the redactions were not in compliance with the law. And the president, honestly, like the president's personal attorney is the acting attorney general and was the deputy attorney general, and he's the one largely responsible for the interference. So that should be pointed to too. You understand that, right? That's a conflict.
I hear it, and wherever it comes to Thomas Massey, like that's he's not my favorite type Republican. I'm not a big fan of him.
Because he stands up to Trump.
But I understand, with Trump, he can stand up to him all he wants, but what's that going to do? Looking at it from that standpoint,
it's done a lot.
I understand he's done.
There's very few Republicans who do.
But I understand, you can stand up to Trump wherever you want. You may not like how he is as a personality. Sure, we all know everybody doesn't like his personality. I agree. But you can't be one of those types of Republicans and who can be that, I don't like the weak type Republican who's going to try to just to be anti-American or on certain policies that you could disagree with. I understand that. Liberals can disagree too. And, and there's some things I agree on Democrat viewpoints. There's few things, that's fine, and it's not everything I always agree with on them. So it's just, but I always try to say this about when it comes to Democrats and Republicans, they're both the same blame. It's not like both parties are like one's incredible, one's terrible.
No one said that.
I know. I'm saying that just to saying, from both parties, they're all corrupt. We all know it. And
I mean, look, I don't know what you're trying to say, but I find it interesting every time we talk about something terrible that Trump has done, we always have to bring up, well, Democrats are bad too. You know what the distinct difference between people on the left and people on the right are when it comes to the Epstein files in particular?
And I know you're going to say Democrats are better about it.
How about don't assume what I'm going to say and be quiet and listen to what I say?
Hey, don't tell me to be quiet.
No, don't fucking assume what I'm going to say.
Hey.
Wait, let me say what I'm going to say, and then you respond. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I just sat and listened to you talk. Now you can listen to me talk. The distinct difference between people on the left and people on the right are, from my experience personally, is every time I talk to someone on the left about the Epstein files, I never hear them attempt to protect someone in the files. Consistently across the board, people on the left say throw him in prison. Don't care if it's Bill Clinton, fuck him too. Don't care about. I don't give a shit what Democrat is in there. Hold him responsible. I couldn't give a shit less.
Correct.
But on the right, right, it's different. On the right, we see Republicans defending Donald Trump's behavior, defending the obstruction of justice, defending the conspiracy to conceal it. How come we don't see that? Donald Trump is in the files. He's in them. He's not just obstructing justice. He's in them.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah. And his name has been mentioned. I'll give you that.
No, it's not been mentioned. He's been accused of committing sexual assault.
I don't know about being accused. You may know it more than I do.
Yeah, there's victim's testimony that says he did it. I'm just pointing out the fact that if I have a folder that contains a bunch of documents, and I say this folder proves that you've engaged in this category of crime, and I'm going to show this to my audience, you would say, show them, because you know you've never engaged in that category of crime, right?
Correct, yeah.
So when you just change the context, why is he not willing to be transparent? It's the easiest W in the history of W's if you didn't actually do it, because you would be able to say, look, I didn't do this, but look at these other people in here. Hey, I know I may have been mentioned in here, but even if he was mentioned and it wasn't true, he would be clearly vindicated at some point. It doesn't make any sense to obstruct justice the way that he has. It doesn't make any sense. Look, I always point to this thing in particular, the meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. This Department of Justice sat down with an already convicted sex offender, quid pro quo, and transferred her to a minimum security prison without an ongoing investigation. So only because she said Donald Trump never behaved inappropriately in my presence or in a private setting.
But
why are we rewarding already convicted sex offenders with transfers to minimum security dorms known as Club Fed, where people literally work off site? This is a unit. This is a prison that houses non-violent offenders. In the United States, sex-based offenses are violent crimes. This is not even a prison. It's a dorm. It's Camp Bryan, Texas. And so I think that right there shows desperation, because that was only done because they knew the Oversight Committee was going to subpoena her testimony, and they were concerned of what she was going to say. So they went in to secure the narrative. If she's granted clemency, will you still support Trump? You know, they're talking about her fucking potentially getting clemency.
Well, I heard about that. I heard about it, and I'm pretty split on that, to be bluntly honest with you on that. So it's I don't have much on the fight to say that, but but when it comes to the whole Epstein thing, yeah, Trump's in some of the files that I have looked at, what I've seen, like on both sides of the media, and then there's others and then Trump, there's celebrities in there who are part of that blame too, who have their views or liberal, and to be bluntly honest with you, and it's not just Trump. It's multiple people across the board.
I never said it wasn't.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying the way I'm seeing it. The way the things have come out.
You're trying to say because so what? Yes, other people commit sexual assault. Yes, other people.
And it's wrong. We all know it's wrong.
Yes, but why? We're talking about the president of the United States. Why do Trump supporters always feel the need to mention that there are other people in the files? No one's disputing that.
Well,
the difference is no one's defending it on the left side of the political spectrum from what I've seen. I understand that's anecdotal, but from what I've seen on the left, I don't see people defending it. I don't. Jen, thank you for becoming a tadpole, Jen. Let's go. Guys, consider becoming a member of the channel if you do enjoy the content. It helps support the channel, keep the channel going. Go ahead.
So, yeah, and I get your point saying that, does the left defend it? Well, we could have debate and agree or disagree on it, who defends it or not. So, and they're both guilty on that, on both sides of it. No one should never defend that crap, ever. It should never, on both sides, should never defend anyone like that.
Are you
it's
kind
wrong.
of doing that right now?
And I'm just being fair and honest in the middle.
But I think
about
you're
it,
kind
so.
of defending the obstruction part of it.
Maybe probably am, but
and you said he's not accused, which he is.
But I don't think we haven't found any evidence if he's a pedophile or not. We've been trying this. Everybody's been looking into these courts. Even the New York attorney tried to charge him for whatever reason, and I just don't know. They haven't found any evidence of that.
A New York court charged him for what? His New York court charged him for falsifying business records to hide campaign finance violations.
And then they keep saying all the way back, they haven't found any evidence of that. And he was been accused 84 counts.
Evidence. He was convicted.
And then, that's just there's some bias there with the courts in New York. We all know that.
No, there was Republicans on that jury. Did you know that?
Yeah. And there's some Republicans on there. I did see. Yes, I did see. But
I don't think Democrats get their news from Truth Social. And there was multiple jurors who got their news from Truth Social. But regardless, he was convicted in that case by a jury of his peers. He received an unconditional discharge. I followed every second of that case. Talked about the case every day, and I can tell you he was definitely guilty according to the law.
But my view is, I feel like it was just on purpose and biased, in my view. That's
why do you think that? Because he was indicted 4 times, and it seems so unreasonable that a president or someone running for president would be indicted 4 times?
Well, the way I saw it, and I think the way where I come from Missouri, people viewed it as just trying to put Trump in jail on purpose.
Yeah,
That's where
I
people
understand
thought
that.
around here.
I
And it's
understand
just-
that, but it's not true though.
But
So,
that's what people think in the public where I come from, like in
I understand
suburban
that,
or rural area.
But do you know what that comes from? That comes from a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding.
Well,
do you know what
I
Trump?
disagree.
Do you know? Okay, you disagree with me. What was Trump indicted for? 4 criminal indictments. 2 of them were federal. One was in New York. One was in Georgia. What
Correct.
Were they?
Yeah.
What were they?
Those were. Well, I don't know. You know. So
I do know. Do you know that? So I know you don't, and I think these were legitimate. Here's what he was indicted for: falsifying business records to hide campaign finance violations in New York. There were 2 federal cases. One was willful retention of classified documents, obstruction of justice. The other one was conspiracy to defraud the United States. Sorry, it's been a while since I talked about this. The 4th one was a Georgia case, racketeer influence.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So you had a RICO case in Georgia. You had conspiracy to defraud the United States, Jan 6 case. You had willful retention of classified documents, obstruction of justice, and you had the case he was already convicted on. Let's throw the case he was already convicted on at the window because he was already convicted on that case. I'm not going to argue about a case he's already been convicted on. Moving to the documents case. Moving to the documents.
So some of them were okay. Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to argue about a case he's already been convicted on. A jury's already decided he's guilty. The only reason he wasn't in prison on that case is because he received an unconditional discharge, and that's because he got elected. So moving to the documents case in specific, proving that case had substance, okay? Donald Trump, that case had every piece of evidence you could possibly desire as a prosecutor. It had signed documents lying on an affidavit. Donald Trump lied to investigators who would be on the witness stand. There were recordings of Donald Trump not only admitting to being in possession of those documents, but sharing those documents to people who do not have security clearance. There were witnesses Donald Trump tried to convince to destroy evidence. He tried to get people to destroy evidence. That case is primarily made up of obstruction of justice. It's actually less about the willful retention. Most of the indictment is about the lengths Donald Trump went to conceal the fact that he was in possession of those documents. And that's what that case would have mostly been made up of. But there's evidence out the wazoo. He would have been criminally convicted on that case. That case was really, really powerful. Like that case had every piece of evidence you could want as a prosecutor. So there's some people in the chat that are saying bullshit to my statement about him being on recording. So I'm just gonna play it real quick. I can't believe people. You just turn on the live real quick and you'll hear it through the live, dude.
Yeah, I can hear it. So
hold on one second. I have to put you on hold.
Okay.
Just to dunk on Trump supporters really quick. When it comes telling me that this is bullshit. When you have a recording of an individual not only admitting to being in possession of classified documents he's being accused of having, by the way, these were attack plans. Like, we're talking about it would require the highest level of clearance. Incredibly classified information. Let's listen.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, against you.
Well, it started right at the beginning.
Like when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him. Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Look at that.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time,
She'd send
private
it,
email.
no, she'd send it to
Yeah.
Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible? Though?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the
You did.
papers.
It's pretty.
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
it.
yeah.
See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. We here I have, and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some cokes in, please.
So let's bring that caller back. So that was being recorded because Donald Trump was being interviewed about the Mark Meadows memoir. And during the course of the interview, he started trying to prove to the interviewer and an aide that Milley was wrong. And so he started pulling out classified information he was in possession of to prove his case. It's about as much. That's about as nail in the coffin as you can get in a classified willful retention case. But that's why I said most of the case was going to be about obstruction of justice, and that's where the most serious of charges came in. But I want to add just to that case was investigated for 18 months. There was an 18-month investigation into whether or not Donald Trump was in possession of those documents, because do you know why the entire time they were trying to get him to turn them over? Because they didn't want to indict him. That's why I always laugh when Republicans are like, Jack Smith wanted to indict Donald. They wanted to get him. They didn't want to indict him on that case. They wanted to just resolve it, because you don't want to indict a former president over classified documents. When he made it so they had to execute a search warrant and retrieve the documents and do all these things. It didn't need to come to that, but Donald Trump refuses to comply. He just does.
And
so that's that
case. The problem is, like, I hear what you're saying there. Yeah, that may be true. It could be true. And all the other stuff, we could talk about those cases like you mentioned earlier. And everybody's got to have an opinion if it's true or not true. And the way I feel about it, it's pretty vanilla to me, the way he was charged about it, and the whole thing about the whole, like, the Georgia thing, I saw all that, and like, cause when you got the mugshot.
Hold on, before you skip, you understand the only reason you believe that is because you don't understand the implications, right? Do you think there are consequences to a president sharing attack plans for another country with people who don't have security clearance? Why does security clearance exist? Why are documents classified? It puts you in tremendous danger. I mean, Mr. Operational Security. I mean, you guys constantly talk about national security when it comes to the border. Why is it okay for the president to endanger national security and the people of the United States by sharing classified information? There's a reason we have a system of classification, and that's to protect the people inside the country. And it's also systems of collection and things like that, tactics that are used during it. But the point is, it's to protect national security, which affects the American people.
Oh, yeah.
So
I agree with that.
So you
and
see
then
what I'm
I
saying?
agree. I hear you. Go ahead.
So there you go.
And I'll say about, like, we could agree.
Last thing, because I'm going to move on after this. Go ahead.
Okay. And on that, we're pretty split about the whole Epstein thing. Yeah. Like, on the border thing, like, I know, like, your opinion was you're not a big fan of Trump's how he's handled the immigration thing, but people who want to say, oh, he's being too wants mass deportations, and personally, I feel like mass deportation. If you're trying to get rid of the bad ones, like illegals and all that stuff, I get that. That's fine. But if you're talking about the, well, you can say it's undocumented, but people who I've been around like closely who think it's more like, oh, they're just mostly criminals, illegals.
But that's
what
not
they
true, and it's not backed up by any credible study or statistic. Undocumented immigrants commit far less crime than American-born citizens per capita. It's not even close.
But people feel like we bring in these more like undocumented immigrants into the country, and it feels like, okay, how we're gonna serve these people? We don't know if we have enough room to like, because it comes out of our taxpayer dollars. It comes out of my taxpayer dollars. That's where I get a little frustrated Yeah, it kind of does.
No,
a
it
little
doesn't.
Bit.
I'll explain why you're wrong. So first of all, overpopulation is a myth perpetuated by white supremacists. It's not a real thing.
I disagree with that.
Okay, overpopulation is not a thing. There's no study out there that proves that overpopulation is a thing. There's no such thing as we're not overpopulated. That's not real. But in terms of just tax contributions, you said it comes out of your tax dollars. It's actually the opposite. Undocumented immigrants contribute $100 billion at a federal, state, and local level, and they actually subsidize the federal programs that you benefit from because federal law explicitly prohibits them from benefiting from those same benefits. So, like, for instance, they pay into Social Security, right, and they don't receive the benefit of Social Security, so they subsidize the programs. $100 billion.
Yeah, and I just don't. The way I see it is it's just not good for the overall. Like, I understand it's good for the workforce in some areas, parts of the United States.
Do you guys think this guy's listening to me? I'm starting to lose hope.
Yeah, funny.
No, I don't. I don't think you just listened to what I just said. You said that undocumented immigrants are using your tax dollars, and I'm trying to explain that they're actually a net positive economically, largely through their tax contributions.
Some of it.
No, they're a net positive. There's no credible study out there that proves they're a net negative.
But we could disagree.
Go ahead and cite one. I dare you to cite one, and I'll debunk it live in front of everybody right now. There's only one that Republicans cite, and it's the FAIR study, and it's easily dismantled. It's one of the most dishonest studies there are.
So, and the way I feel about it is, like, I'm telling you, it's just, I just don't think the way I feel about it, immigration is just not good overall from a standpoint of, like, amnesty. Doesn't, if you want to put more green cards out there and put more into the country, I just don't think it's like, you want to limit some capacity in a sense.
But amnesty doesn't open the border. Amnesty.
Well, that's what people feel about.
But no, it's not. No. Amnesty is a pathway to citizenship for the people already present. That has nothing to do with whether or not you fix the immigration system as a whole. Amnesty is a solution to the population of people who are currently in the United States. The population of people currently here, right? Donald Trump claims that number's 25 million. He changes it every other day. But the millions of people that are here undocumented, the solution would be amnesty, granting a pathway to citizenship. In turn, you create more American tax-paying citizens. When we talk about consequences, for instance, you just brought up crime. That's just not true. You glossed over this fact, too, when you said it. Undocumented immigrants commit very low portions of crime. You know that, right, compared to American-born citizens?
But would you realize there is bad criminals in big cities or in our neighborhoods in the suburban area? Do you admit that? Like that type of stuff.
What I'm saying is that you are far less likely to be the victim of a violent crime by an undocumented immigrant than you are an American citizen per capita. Acknowledging the population size of both American citizens and undocumented immigrants, you're far less likely to be subject to a violent crime by an undocumented immigrant than you are an American-born citizen.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could disagree on that, but the last thing.
No. We can't disagree on that because it's a proven fact. I'll give you 20 minutes. Right now. I'll give you 5 minutes right now. Go find me a study that proves that undocumented immigrants commit more crime than American-born citizens per capita. And while you're at it, provide for me that they're a net negative. And if it's going to be the FAIR study, make sure you let me know, because I'm going to debunk it in front of everybody. But go find me a study right now that indicates undocumented immigrants commit more crime than American-born citizens per capita.
I'll try to look that up. So.
All right, I'll wait.
Okay.
I'm going to wait right here.
Gotcha.
Read some comments while we're waiting here. Let's mute Richard for slurring in the chat. Bye, Richard. Stop using slurs. Adam, he doesn't know what per capita means. Why? I tried to acknowledge the population size before. I thought that too. We already have all that data. You just need to Google that. Facts. Just Google who commits more crime per capita, American citizens or undocumented immigrants, please. Let's read some more comments here. Scrolling up. Less likely doesn't mean doesn't happen now, huh? What? What we're saying is if you were interested in reducing the crime rate, your focus would be the American citizen population, not undocumented immigrants. Dude, are you Googling something or are you running through a forest? It sounds like you're wrestling with someone, not Googling. Bro, what are you doing? Why is this guy... I'm hearing like this guy's wrestling with someone. Bro, are you Googling or are you like rolling on the ground? Googling doesn't make these types of noises. That's my concern. Googling something, researching doesn't usually have these types of noises. Guys, I would appreciate contributing to the gifting goal. If you're new here, I'd appreciate hitting the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please reach over and hit that subscription button. You will miss future lives if you are not subscribed. Subscribing and hitting the notification bell alerts you every time I'm live. And I'm live a lot. So I don't want you to miss future lives. I want you guys to get the lives and get the content and get all those things. So make sure you subscribe. I guess we'll move on from this dude. I don't know. He's like rolling on the ground or something. This is kind of weird. Bro, are you okay? Johnny? Hello, Johnny. Toria Williams says, just subscribed. Thank you so much, Toria. Appreciate you. If you guys can, consider becoming a member of the channel. Consider supporting with super chats, things like that. I would appreciate it. I don't know if we should move on from this guy or not. We're coming to the end anyway. I'm getting kind of tired, but I wanted to finish this conversation. Dude, it is not this. Did you find?
I'm right here.
Okay.
Good. So I looked up and just said, do immigrants commit crimes? Like you, I think that's what you were saying, correct?
No, we were asking. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Do undocumented immigrants commit less crime than American-born citizens per capita?
And I was looking that up, and they say it said a House Gov, something like that. I looked it up. And they said they do. Like immigrants.
No, they
do.
didn't. If you're referring to something on House Gov that a Republican said, I asked you to provide me. Here's what I want you to Google. I'm going to make it easy for you. Ready? Just Google this. Do undocumented immigrants, bro, One-Eye Dollar has the funniest comment of the night in the chat. Whoever One-Eye Dollar is, bro, you are fucking hilarious. He just said, is this Nick Shirley?
Nick Shirley. Interesting.
That couldn't be more spot on, One-Eye Dollar. Sonny Dio, thank you for becoming a tadpole, bro. Appreciate you. Listen, let's just Google this really quick. This last thing, okay? Do undocumented immigrants commit less crime than American-born citizens? Yes or no?
I say yes.
No, I'm asking you to Google it and read it.
And I know I'd rather not to, so.
All right, I'm going to do it.
I don't want to waste my time.
I'm going to do it, okay?
And I still say yes, so.
All right, let's Google it. Yeah, you're saying yes, right? That's my answer.
Yes.
Undocumented immigrants commit less, right?
No. Okay, so I will say I don't know if it's less or not. Okay,
all right, I'm Googling it for you since you're struggling. Hold on.
Good.
Sorry, I had a Laffy Taffy there, and I didn't think you were going to take as long. I had to have a snack break. It took you so long. It says, yes, based on the best available research, undocumented immigrants appear to commit less crime than U.S.-born citizens. And there's like 60 studies. So like right here, for instance, this is an NPR fact check thing because a lot of Republicans perpetuate the claim you're making. Evidence does not support the claim that undocumented immigrants commit more crime than U.S.-born citizens. It points the other way.
But what network was that from?
NPR.
Was it from a network? NPR.
Considered one of the most
that's hard for
credible
me to trust
sources
that
there
network.
are.
I don't know if I trust that NPR because
So give me an example of
biased.
a credible source. You're actually making my knee hurt. You know when there's about to be a thunderstorm and you know people who get like aches and pains in random parts of their body when there's about to be a storm. You're giving me a pain in my knee like there's about to be a wicked thunderstorm. So we're going to wrap this up here in a second. Can you give me an example of a credible source, please?
I don't need to give you a credible source.
Give me one credible source. You said NPR you don't trust, so give me a credible source.
Well, it's a liberal biased news network, so in a paper.
No, it isn't. The fuck are you talking? Is Reuters?
Well, go on to every news network.
Give me an
puts out these
example.
statistics.
All right, so you can't give me an example of a credible source then. I
Guess
didn't
not.
think- Okay. Have a good day, okay?
Hey, you too. Bye.
Oh God, folks. I'm not even kidding. You think I'm joking? I'm making some kind of joke. I literally was starting to get like a thunderstorm pain in my knee. All right, folks. This guy's calling on an unknown number. We don't take unknown numbers, bro. I'm gonna call from your number. All right, folks. I'm done for this evening. I will be back tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. I love you. Appreciate you. By the way, we're starting to implement potentially next week some morning lives to combine with TikTok at least a couple days a week. So not only are we on in the evening, we're going to start combining, not every day. TikTok's going to be just TikTok a lot of days. But in order to try and get more people to go over to TikTok, I'm going to combine them a couple days a week. And I know a lot of people were looking forward to that, especially when we're watching videos and stuff. If you guys did enjoy the live tonight, let me know in the chat that you did enjoy it. I love you guys. I appreciate everybody who supported. Hope you had some laughs. Hope you were entertained and enjoyed the conversations. And I will see you tomorrow. I appreciate you. Would appreciate hitting the subscribe button on the way out so you guys don't miss future lives. Have a wonderful night, everybody. Sleep well. And I will see you later. Take care. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and all the support. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys join on TikTok. I go live over on TikTok just as much as I go live over on YouTube. Same exact name, except I've been on TikTok for like 4 years. I just started on YouTube within the last year, within the last 12 months, rather, streaming. So we're pretty new to the YouTube scene, but we're starting to get this established over here. But definitely come over to TikTok. Same name, just go over there and hit the follow button on TikTok so that way you get those lives in the morning. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Nayland.